Saul Marquez with the Outcomes Rocket here at the MedTech Innovator Challenge. I'm joined with Dawson Reimer, the CEO of Cerebra, and it's just incredible work. He got out of that pitch just incredible. I mean, the crowd was cheering. You guys have something good. You guys have something good. So today what I want to do is just get to know you a little bit more. Give us a little background on yourself and what inspires your work in healthcare.
So my background, thanks very much for this opportunity, by the way. My background is really, I stumbled into life sciences. I've worked in economic development and then got involved with a business incubator back in Winnipeg, Canada, up north. And at that incubator, fell in love with and became dragged right into a startup right from a baby stage all the way up. Spent 19 years in an interventional cardiology pharmaceutical company, a company focused on paraprocedural drugs. Worked my way up to be president of a company with 70 or so staff, turned around revenue, and had a great time building a US-focused pharma business. I love working in a space where you can play with IP, play with science, raising money, telling stories, and then in the final end, helping people get better. And so to me, if I would have known that there was a business like working in life sciences, I would have been doing it right out of high school, but I didn't know it existed.
That's awesome. Dawson, it's apparent that you're very passionate about what you do and the space that we're all working in. Tell us a little bit more about Cerebra. What are you guys solving for, and what makes you guys different and better than what's out there in the market today?
So I'll break a rule and I'll say two things. So the first thing that we do is actually the easiest piece to understand, but I'd say not the greatest value. But it's a really easy, straightforward way. We bring the sleep lab into your own home. We send a sleep diagnostic device, which gives the same information as you get out of the sleep lab, and we do it in your own home so that you can save the trip, so the system can save money, and so that we can take diagnosis and make it a practical part of care. And so I'll show a little piece of junk that we've made, which is the best in class. It's one of two approved medical devices for diagnosing sleep in a self-applied way. This is an EEG device called Prodigy. We needed this to build our business. We needed a road upon which to take our second big value add to the market. And that was creating a level 2 or an in-home polysomnography system, which this basically measures your respiratory, cardiorespiratory. This device straps on a chest. The exciting part, or the different part, is an EEG collection that gives an array that a doctor can understand and use to make decisions. The part that most excites me and is our long-term sort of part of our moonshot and what differentiates us from everybody else. Anybody can make a piece of hardware, we just happen to have the best one. The differentiation that we have is that we have real metrics of sleep. The way sleep is analyzed, when I say sleep, I mean what goes on in your brain when you're asleep. The way in which that's analyzed in sleep labs right now is a manual approach, which was very crude, developed in the 1960s, back when there was a squiggly line going across the page with a pen. The computer can see a lot more information than that, and there's all kinds of microstructure and details in the dynamics of sleep that you can pull up with software. We've created software objective metrics, which we hope to set as the standard, and we have a lot of data supporting our ability to explain the dynamics of sleep in a fully objective, rapid, real way.
Sounds differentiating, and doing it from home. It seems to be a trend, right? Especially when the care and reimbursement for chronic diseases from the home is starting to become a very real thing. You guys are tackling COPD, I imagine, mainly with this?
I'd say we're tackling sleep, and sleep drags us all over the place. And in fact, as a business challenge and maybe as a call to action, I mean, we can take our sleep metrics and bring life to all kinds of different conditions that go way beyond sleep. The typical respiratory condition that we get pulled into first is sleep apnea, because sleep apnea is where sleep is at. The whole industry is built up around it. Even though when you do a home sleep test for sleep apnea, they don't even measure your sleep. They're just looking at whether you stop breathing and get low blood oxygen levels. What we do is we provide that, as well as we're also able to diagnose times when you've stopped breathing and it aroused you. So especially for fitter people, younger people, or females, they'll hold their breath and wake up before they ever have a desaturation in their oxygen. And so that's a reason why you would want to get an arousal, so that we can diagnose when the person's stopped breathing and it's woken them up, as opposed to just an oxygen desaturation. So that's an application for respiratory.
Yeah, that's really fascinating, Dawson. So what would you say is one of the most exciting things that you guys are seeing, or what do you believe is the most exciting thing right now?
Oh, I could have so many different fun ones. I'm going to give one which is a little ways away, I think, from the market, but it's stuff we're doing right today. Last year, by chance, some universities came and approached us to use our software to look at patients in the ICU. And so we said, sure, here's some devices, our little device, as well as our software to process what's going on. It's long been known that cognitive slowing and ICU care is impaired or declines when a person starts to basically become like psychotic, or they develop a neurosis or pathological wakefulness. They're intubated all the time. They're in this room with all this noise. They can't sleep. But the only things that they're measuring are objective metrics, blood gases, different things like this are the only thing they're measuring. So they said, why don't we take a look at sleep? And we took a look at sleep, and we were able to almost perfectly predict outcomes out of the ICU. We now have 6 systems, including 6 locations using it, including some guys at Harvard who are looking at ICU care using our EEG algorithms. One of the things they found is that during the night, using our EEG metric, we're able to show that the brain starts to sleep different between one half of the hemisphere and the other. It's known as dolphin sleep. It was never known that humans do that. We've been able to pull that out using our software, showing that sleep oscillates between halves of the brain when a person is sleep deprived. So that's a fun one.
Yeah, that's really fun. And to imagine the possibilities, right? There's a ton of opportunity for deeper understanding of sleep and its applications to how we treat people. What's the call to action, Dawson? You know, the folks watching at home and listening to the podcast, what's the call to action, and where could they go and learn more about you?
So you should go to Cerebra.health to find out about us. Our sleep studies are actually available in Canada. In Canada, we're able to go and sell studies direct to consumer. Our primary delivery is working with care providers and now also with employers. But anybody can go and buy our study in Canada. So if your podcast watchers, listeners in Canada should just go check it out. It's a cost-effective way to find out about their sleep in a diagnostic way. If you're in the U.S., then or in some other jurisdiction and you're in the health research area, we can play with all kinds of other things. We can integrate data, work into other areas that are outside of sleep. There's applications in epilepsy, pediatric care, oncology, all kinds of different areas. So we'd love to find people who are partner and want to take a look at sleep in a way like they could never before.
Outstanding call to action. And for everybody watching and listening, take Dawson up on that challenge. And Dawson, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks very much.